Being a veteran is a profound honor, one that carries with it the weight of service, sacrifice. We owe our veterans a profound debt of gratitude not just for their service, but for the immense courage they show in transitioning back to civilian life. The Making History Project mission is to honor and preserve the legacy of our veterans by documenting and sharing their stories with future generations. We aim to ensure that the sacrifices and experiences of those who served are never forgotten, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation of our collective history. Making History Project presents Echoes of Service.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for accepting this interview. We're going to start with some main questions about your information. So, where were you born?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. Where, describe your hometown.
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. Okay. Can you
describe? It's not
Yes.
really a hometown. It's huge. It's bigger than most cities.
Okay. Okay. How big was your family, brothers, sisters in your childhood?
One brother, that's it.
Okay. Your education, sports, and hobbies?
Pardon?
Your education, sports, and hobbies?
My education?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was University of Miami. I was a high school dropout.
Okay. Okay.
And I applied to the University of Miami at a time when it was transitioning from Suntan U to a learning institution. And they gave me credit for everything I took, makeup courses, whatever it was, basic training, my photo school in the Army. And I entered as a sophomore. They gave me 33 credits, I think. So my mother used to say, she used to brag how my son, he just skipped high school, went right to college.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is true.
Oh, wow. And you have any sports or hobbies during that
Sports?
time?
Terrible at sports, but I used to love playing softball or baseball.
Okay. Okay.
Hit, but that was it.
That was it. Okay. And when did you join the military and why you did it?
When did I join?
Yes, and why you did it?
Why did I?
Yes.
Well, after World War II, they had the GI Bill. And then about 3-4 years later, they eliminated it. And then the Korean War came about. And they reintroduced the GI Bill. Okay. And I felt if I wanted to get that GI, if I ever wanted to go to college, I would need that GI Bill. So after the hostilities ceased, I volunteered for the draft. And I got the GI Bill.
Okay.
And although the Army and I did not get along together very well, that GI Bill changed everything for me.
That's amazing. And you went to University of Miami or you went to another?
I went, like I said, I was a high school dropout.
Okay.
And I got, getting down to Miami, I met a girl and they had a summer place up in a place called Lake Hopatcong in New Jersey. Hopatcong, Hopatcong, something like that. Hopatcong. And so we got engaged. So I took a bus in January of 1956. Took a bus down to Miami. She came meet me at the bus station. Here I'm right after this bus is like 30 hours and no sleep, and I'm sweaty and I stink. And she took me to a place which they had a little apartment above. They had a big house in Lake Opatcon, but they had a little apartment above they sold fruit. They owned a grove down in, where is South Miami. What's that place? All the groves. Anyway, they owned a grove, and she took me there, and I'm sitting there like this, and she said, we're talking, and she says, well, when you weren't here, this fellow was taking me to nightclubs. I said, that's okay. The hell? To sit twiddling your thumbs while I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, I like to go to nightclubs. I said, I know, but I can't afford any. I don't have any money. I got to get a job. She says, well, he wants to take me to nightclubs. I says, no. What are you kidding? I'm here. That's it. She says, no, I'm going to nightclubs. Well, that was the end of the engagement. So, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was in town 20 minutes and the engagement's over. So my friend who moved, my oldest friend who had moved to Miami about 6 months before, he was a newlywed, moved down there. He picked me up. He took me back to his place. And of course, I was crestfallen. And I got some odd jobs. I was working 3 jobs, collecting unemployment, doing everything. And I felt, I was going to be nothing if I didn't get a college degree. So I enrolled, I put an application at the University of Miami, and they gave me, like I say, 33 credits, and I entered as a sophomore.
Wow, amazing.
So that's my story.
No, perfect. And and what were you doing before joining the military?
Oh, nothing. I mean, I was a high school dropout. I was working, in a garment district, making $30 a week. You could, $30 a week you could get by on, but in early 50s. But I was going no place. I had nothing.
Okay. Did other family members serve in the military?
My brother.
Your brother. Okay. How did your family feel about entering into the military service?
Well, I wasn't ready for it, really. I was doing some therapy at the time, and the therapist says, you're not ready for it. So I don't advise it. I said, yeah, but I want that GI Bill. And so I entered. He was right, and I was right. He was right. I wasn't ready for it.
Okay. What branch of service are you were before?
The Army.
The Army. Okay. What was your role and specialty while you were in the military?
A photographer.
Interesting. What equipment or weapons were you qualified to use?
What weapons?
Yes, an equipment you were qualified to use.
Carbine, M1 carbine. That's what in the Signal Corps. That was the weapon we had. But also, I qualified on the M1, regular M1 rifle.
Okay. What units were you assigned to?
Well, I spent my time. I remember I lived in Brooklyn, and I went to basic training at Fort Dix, which is about 200 miles from Brooklyn. And then I stayed at Fort Monmouth for photo school, which is about a little over 100 miles from Brooklyn. And then I was stationed at the Signal Corps Pictorial Center in Long Island City, which is a subway ride from Brooklyn. That's where I spent all my time.
All right. And that was the only place you were stationed?
That's the only station I ever had.
Okay. What were your dates of service?
November 53 to September 55.
Thank you for your service, sir. What was your highest rank?
Private first class, only for 10 days.
Okay. Where was basic training?
Pardon?
Where was basic training?
I told you in Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it's just that they repeat sometimes the questions. How was your basic training? Can you
How was
describe?
it?
Yes.
Stressful.
Okay. Can you describe a little bit what happened that day?
Well, aside from one was getting court-martialed, I mean, what do you need to know?
Okay.
Basic training is basic training. You go there, for 8 weeks, and you go. It's like it's nonstop. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Were you involved in any military campaigns or operations?
No, I know. I was stationed in Long Island City.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's true.
I had to fight the crowds on the subway. That's it.
Describe a typical day for you in service. In service.
By the way, the Sigma Corps Pictorial Center, there was a barracks, but there was the old Paramount Studios where the first Marx Brothers movies were filmed. That was where I was a still photographer. That's where they made training films and everything. I wasn't involved with that.
Perfect. Any interactions with foreign civilians or enemy?
And he what?
With any foreign civilians or enemy? With the enemy?
With enemies?
Mm-hmm.
I got lots of enemies, but none of them that shot back at me.
Okay, perfect.
I spent my most of my army time in Long Island City, New York. You know, we were in a residential neighborhood.
What was your most memorable event while you were in the military?
Almost getting court-martialed.
What?
Almost getting court-martialed.
Okay. What was your proudest moment in the military?
What?
Your proudest, that you were proud.
Getting out.
I heard that a lot. So, you receive any awards or medals?
I don't think I even got a good conduct medal. Nothing.
Okay. Okay, now we're gonna start.
I was not an exemplary soldier. Like I say, my therapist said I wasn't ready for it, and he was absolutely correct.
I think no one is ready to enter sometimes to the
That's not
military.
true. Some people are. You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Some people ate it up. Some people stayed in.
Yeah, that's true. Some people just dream to be there.
They're built. They're built for it.
I agree.
I wasn't.
But it helped you in some ways.
Gave me the GI Bill.
Exactly. That's huge.
That's the biggest help I've ever had. That I went to school. I bought 2 houses with the GI Bill.
Yes. And in the University of Miami, what did you study there?
What was I?
What did you did in the University of Miami?
Well, that's another story.
Okay.
I was a good student. I mean, people do change. And I was the business manager of the Tempo magazine, which doesn't exist anymore. And I was the amusements editor for the Hurricane, which does exist. And I did that for a couple of years. And I was active in a few things on campus. I started we had it's not a fraternity, but it's called XGI, Xi Gamma Iota, which is for veterans. I was one of the founders of that, which I don't think it exists anymore.
What was the name?
Xi Gamma Iota, XGI.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist. It was never chartered. It was as a fraternity.
Okay, okay. And how was your time during the university? You have a good time, bad time?
The best 4 years of my life. The absolute best. Had a ball, loved it, and I got an education.
Do you have any like memories that you want to share about the University of Miami?
Well, the parties.
Okay.
The public, the ones from the hurricane, the parties we had were wild, memorable.
That's what I heard from the students.
Yeah, but I got an education too. I mean, that was a wonderful thing about it. I had a ball. I loved it, and I worked. You know, before I was once I got into publications, I didn't work as much, but yeah, but I worked all the time.
Perfect. And you think your military service impacted you as a civilian or a student?
Pardon?
Has your military service impacted you when you were a civilian or a student when you were in the University of Miami?
Did it impact me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In what way would it impact me?
In a good or bad way?
In a what?
It can be in a good or bad way. If you think that it had an impact on you.
I'm not following the question, but I got the GI Bill, and that's how I got through college with the GI Bill. My first, because I was a dropout, my father was reluctant to help me, but as I progressed, he helped me more. And helped me more. And as a matter of fact, because I entered as a sophomore, I graduated with a year left of my GI Bill. So I went to graduate school and got a master's degree, an MBA, university. I should have gone to law school. My father would have put me. I said, "No, Dad, you've helped me too much. Forget about it," which is a very dumb thing, because I should have gone to law school.
Okay, okay. And you think the University of Miami helped you with your transition from the military to the civilian life?
And I tell you, it was everything. It changed my life.
That's good to hear. Do you have any advice for veterans who want to pursue college education after military service?
I have no advice. I don't know. You know, everybody's situation is different. So there's no, I mean, very few people's history matches mine. Very few high school dropouts like I now got a master's degree.
Yes. Okay, perfect. I think I have two more questions. Was there anything from your military service that impacted you after you left the military?
The GI Bill.
Perfect.
I mean, that's one of the best things I ever got. I mean, that changed everything for me.
Perfect. Is there anything you would like to add or that I didn't ask during the interview?
You can ask as much as you want. I don't know what I can add. Is that all I can tell you is that I loved the University of Miami when I was there, and I love it now.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing all this information and your story with us. We're gonna conclude here. If there is anything else that you want to say, and it will be recorded. And
I can't think of anything, Don. You got questions? Just shoot them away, and I'll answer them. I can't think of anything. I'm grateful for my 4 years there. And not only did I have a wonderful time, but I got an education that has been the linchpin of my life.
The honor of being a veteran is not just in the recognition by others, but in the deep personal pride of having fulfilled a sacred duty. In celebrating veterans, we acknowledge the strength, resilience, and integrity that they represent. Through dedicated research, heartfelt storytelling, and community engagement, it ensures that the legacy of service endures and that future generations never forget the courage and dedication that have shaped our world. The Making History Project is dedicated to honoring and preserving the voices of our veterans. Thank you for your support.